Hello, everyone. It is 2025, if you can believe it, which I cannot. I am in a new studio because we moved, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Doing things that are unconventional. Yes, I got to muck about with the hair. Doing things that are unconventional but work, given what you have available to you, right? So I am still using this tiny-ass little microphone that I've used for this. I originally got it for voiceover. It's not correct for voiceover at all, for sure. But it works for this, right? It's like this big. So this is a walk-in closet. We took out the shelves. My partner built a frame, a wood frame, so we wouldn't hurt the walls at all. And then he also lowered the ceiling because it was super tall, and I didn't need that. So it's a wooden frame. Then we hung heavy loaded vinyl, which is what is used in sound studios, usually inside the wall though, inside the drywall. So since we weren't operating from that position, the heavy loaded vinyl is on the outside of the drywall. And then on top of that is wool blankets that I got on Woot, which is I don't know if subsidiary is the right word, but you find it on Amazon and it's stuff for cheaper for whatever reason. And I got 3 of these and they were only $20 each. So as inexpensive as a moving blanket, and I personally think more effective. And I just like how it looks better. I read somewhere recently that having your walls tight, like taut, isn't right, but it's been working great for me, so I don't know what to tell you. One thing that I do think is accurate is, I wish I could show you. Can I show you here? It's not flush against the wall. That's true. There's some space, and you do want that. So right now my noise floor is routinely between like -75 and -80, which is enough. It's enough. We took the door off because it entered in. Excuse me. And then we have this is more heavy loaded vinyl that we cut in strips like a walk-in freezer. And then on the outside of that is another blanket. So it's a little squirrely to get in, but I like how it sounds. And so what would total cost on this be? The heavy loaded vinyl was a roll. And when they say heavy, it's no joke. Like if you're going to go that route, you're going to need people unless you're extremely strong. I want to say that roll was $300. And then the blankets were $60. I asked my partner one time how much the wood was. I think he said like $25, and then he built it himself. So we saved money there. Pardon me. Having as much taken care of in terms of shit you don't want to deal with post, to me is super important. So the external sound, the mucking about, no thank you. Having clean teeth, brush your teeth, brush your tongue. Super helpful. Will do almost all the work with your mouth clicks for sure. Here's a fun thing I learned this year. I was having trouble with an intermittent buzzing sound happening, and instead of asking people who know, for some reason, I assumed that I knew, and it was equipment failure. So I started replacing things. And then I asked, and someone said, "What's your cable layout?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And what they meant was cables shouldn't be touching. That was part of it. And then part of it is, can I show you? I can't. My microphone, the connection from the XLR to my microphone, when I touch it, zaps, has that buzzing sound. So I've wrapped it with electrical tape. It helps a bunch. I'm not sure why that's happening. Like if it's the cable, if it's the microphone. I was told by a friend that when you look in the cable of the XLR, there's a rubber, actually I might have it right here. Yep. A rubber gasket to remove the gasket. Don't get rid of it, but remove it. And that will help the connection be more sturdy, more stable. So that problem has been predominantly fixed. So ask people who know before you go monkeying around with all your stuff. So April will be my official 2 years, and I can say that yesterday and today I recorded lines for my highest paying gig yet, which, by the way, $300. So nothing to sneeze at. I am so appreciative for the opportunity to do work with this individual. My understanding is they're out of Ukraine, and this young man works like 2 jobs to fund his art and pay his people. So I respect that a great deal, and I hope that what I gave him is what he wants. So, always willing to redo if necessary. What else has gone on? Let's see. I made a decision to not worry about making this a business so much because I wasn't making business money. So why am I setting myself up for taxes and stuff? That seems dumb. So I've unbusinessed, and I just operate. This is really just psychologically, I'm operating from the position of being a professional hobbyist, which I am totally okay with. Should that change, then I'll change, but not necessary to set yourself up like that, I don't think. Another thing I've decided this year, starting now, is to really extricate myself from the bottom layer, is what I'm calling it. So the bottom layer is the group of people that just keep having the same conversations, asking the same questions, knowing the same answers, the platitudes, the cliches, the nonsense, the people who aren't self-reliant, the stuff that isn't really helping anybody rise above, be better, grow as a performer or even as a person. There's a lot of that, and I don't need it anymore. So my goal is to be there as rarely as possible, which is not to suggest that it's a bad place. It's just no longer the place for me. So if I want to have more ascended experiences, I need to be in that area, right? I need to rise above. I need to be with the ascended. I don't know if ascended is the right word. That's my word for the year, so maybe that's where I'm getting that from. But I want to find my people, I guess, and they're not here, is all I'm saying. I have started a Facebook group for voice actors over 50, because we're looked down upon. People in their 50s, people in their 30s and younger still have this idea that once you hit 40 or 50 that you're like old and decrepit and dying and crawling along the ground waiting for death. I don't know, but we're not. And we are people with a great deal to offer and a lot of life experience. And so I wanted to see if people would be interested in gathering and having those conversations, those more nuanced conversations around voice acting, or just around how we bring what we know and our experiences in our life into VO and vice versa, instead of just continually asking the Googleable questions. Stop. If it's Googleable, Google it. Do I understand that it's fun to have conversations with people about the questions you have? Yes, I do. Is it fun for those of us on the other side to see those same questions asked over and over and over and over when they are Googleable? No. And because there are people that live here, there's always going to be someone who will answer it, but I think that we shouldn't enable. Because a big, huge part of voice acting and entrepreneurship is self-reliance and building your confidence. And that doesn't come from just constantly asking people answers to questions. It comes from answering the questions yourself to the best of your ability. And then maybe asking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I realize maybe I'm contradicting myself a bit, but by and large, don't get into the habit of just reaching out and asking people. Try to solve the problem yourself first. And also be good at listening. Be receptive to the answer. Because that's something I'm seeing a lot is folks who get all up in arms and they think what people are doing are gatekeeping, when actually what's happening is they're not listening. So it's hard to want to offer information if you're going to be resistant. So maybe don't be resistant or solve the problem yourself. So always something to know, always something, an area to grow in. I did win something. That's fun. There are always here and there opportunities to win things like entrance into conferences or what have you. And when I get it, I'll show you. But I won a mic Heyo interface, which is like a tiny interface. Because we don't plug our microphones into our computers. We have an interface, which is the in between. So we have XLR cables, which are the things with the prongs. So this one is one of those, and it's like for travel or regular use. But it's pretty exciting because it's one of the first things I learned of when I first started, and I always thought it sounded interesting. And I just hadn't gotten around to getting one, and I won one. So that's excellent, and I'm excited for that arrival. Anything else? I don't think so. I hope you're doing well, and I hope to do more of these, have more things to say. One of my goals for this year is to just be prolific to the ability that is available, be as prolific as possible, and so to untether myself from chronic nonsense in general. Just do my own thing, be a renegade if that's what it means, be the villain if that's what it means, stepping away from poison, whether that's actual something I'm putting in my body or people or situations. I'm just no longer interested. Why we're ever interested, I don't know, but I'm also entering my 6th year of sobriety, which is never a bad idea, by the way. So for me, it's actually gone very quickly, and I have no interest in undoing that. So I know that it is a different experience for different people. Just let me tell you that it's never a bad idea to go sober. The next part of that, though, is dealing with your shit. Because one of the reasons we get caught up in the poison to get away from the problems is that if you remove the poison and you don't deal with the problems, just something else will happen. So get rid of the poison and then help yourself with the problems. And get help. Ask for help. And that's it. Okay, thank you so much. It's nice to be seen by you. And as always, if you have questions, you can ask me questions. I can't promise I won't have answers. Can't promise I will have answers. But I like to talk to people too. So if you'd like to have an engagement, I am open. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.